into the fact where the victim is now the perpetrator and the perpetrator is now the victim. And that just drives me crazy.
Speaking of driving you crazy, that's our job today. Exactly, right, ladies?
Yes, it is.
Do not adjust your television set. You are fortunate enough to have tuned in to 30 frames a second. And today is Takeover Tuesday. Along with my hosts, we are the women that take over 30 frames a second backstage when Nat is out here doing the show. And we are so fortunate to have some excellent guests today. My name is Lou Sierra. I will be one of your co-hosts. I am an actress, model, and choreographer. And next to me is Miss Giselle Gant. She's our resident youth person for today, since we need a young person to keep us grounded. And what's the new word we know? Fleek?
Fleek.
Fleek. All right, call in if you know what Fleek is. Giselle is a very successful actress and a resident of the village of Harlem.
Yes.
Next to her is Miss Sheila Berry, and she really needs no introduction, but I'll do it because that's why I get paid. Sheila Berry is the executive producer of Gospel Showcase. She's also the producer, one of the producers of Community Cop, and the Dr. Albert A. Lewis Gospel Hour. Sheila, thank you for being here, for being our wise veteran here, keeping us grounded. We have an awesome guest today, Miss Yolanda Fielder. Did I say that correct? Felder, and I wrote it like that because I said it. We pronounced that wrong. She is a TV host, a speaker, and has a TV show by the name of Bible Chat with Yolanda. Welcome. We are so honored to have you here, and we really look forward to your input. The woman next to her, you all know, and if you don't know, now you know. Miss Veronica Kidd. I like to mess with Veronica. Veronica has her own TV show. She's the producer of the VK Report. She also is the director and founder of the People's Film Festival. And if you don't know about that, you will know about that, trust me, very soon. And thank you, Veronica, for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are
back
so
together again.
happy to have everyone here on this beautiful day in summer in New York. It's always great summertime. We've had such a long winter.
Yes, but it's very hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Very
It's hot. It's hot.
My weather.
And I think it's about to get hotter.
Woo,
Yes. Why don't we talk about something that's all over the headlines, starting out with the Legionnaire's disease. That has been founded and centered in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Where they have found it, what, in a hospital, in a telephone?
Right. They're still trying to target it to find out exactly where it's coming from. But it's so unfortunate because, you know, Bronx has the highest rates in asthma in young people, just in general. I think it's the highest in the city of New York. And so now to be plagued with this disease and it's actually killing people, that is something to be alarmed. My question is, how long did they know? Because 8 deaths, now we're up to 8, but I'm sure the first one was, they should have, you know, someone should have rang the alarm.
Water vapor,
And you don't want to say, I don't want to go to the Bronx, but, you know, I mean, I don't want to go anywhere.
At this point.
Stay in the house, you know, and then you have to be mindful of what's going on in your own, you know, vents, which have to be clean. Yeah, I think they're actively doing that in my building. But yeah, it's so unfortunate, Legionnaire's disease.
It is. And where has it been? Like, you know, all of a suddenly?
Right, all of a sudden it's
That's
randomly
very
here.
odd to me. Very, very odd.
Me too.
You know, and then the Bronx.
Right, centered in a very interesting place.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially because everyone is so mobile in New York. If you're in the Bronx, you just don't stay in the Bronx all the time. You know what I mean? You go to Manhattan, you go to Queens, you go to Brooklyn. So why is it just centered in the Bronx when everyone is so mobile in, you know, New York City? It's very strange. And with it being so muggy and hot, you know, I'm very like nervous that
Are we
it's gonna be
talking
in the air.
conspiracy theory?
I am not above it.
Me either.
Never above it. I mean, because we also know that, I can't remember the date and I can't remember the city, this is horrible, I'm even bringing this up, but the U.S. government flew over a housing project and would test whatever mist or whatever, it sprayed it over people.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy.
So
you know,
if they did that and they fessed up to it,
Right.
I am not above. I think it was in the 60s sometime. I think, I don't remember when it was. But I'm not above saying that they have done something
yeah,
in the Bronx.
let's see what we,
What we find out later.
I'm thinking about the pesticides that because at one time there was a problem with mosquitoes making everyone sick, and I'm sure that was the beginning of the 21st century. Yeah, somewhere around 2002.
Yes, I do
2003.
remember that. But no, this was an active housing project. It might have been in Detroit or Chicago.
wow.
And they would spray something over the housing project because they were testing a military grade whatever.
Wow.
And they were testing it over these people in the housing projects.
I believe that.
Me too.
I believe that.
crazy.
Clearly.
Let's go on now to our presidential race and how it's heating up with Hillary Clinton now with her endorsements out, and I quite honestly love the commercial that she has talking about her mother. Maybe I'm the only one. They
Why do you love
tested it. Well, it just seems really sincere that she was saying she wants to be that person for other single mothers. And I know,
Okay.
maybe, I don't know, but I like this one.
Okay.
I like this one. I'm waiting to hear where she stands on issues that are relevant to me before I say I'm voting for her. But as far as an endorsement and a commercial, I think it's a nice commercial.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to allow her in, especially with the phone records and that
I
she's
think they are.
Yeah.
In my own opinion,
Because
I think
they're
people
doing
have done a
everything
lot
to-
worse than that. She's been running with the big dogs for a long time.
But do you think the United States is ready for?
Now, whether she wins or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
She thought she was gonna
weren't
win
ready
with
for a
Obama.
black president.
did, didn't she?
Surprise.
Yeah.
They weren't ready for a black president. Surprise.
But they weren't ready for a woman.
No, they were
Or
going
is
to
it-
take a man over a woman.
But
I believe that.
because the issue also is the Clintons. Do we want another Clinton in the House? Just same way we had Bush consecutively. Do we want another Clinton?
I prefer a Clinton than a Bush.
No.
Well, what
I
about
don't
our
want
vice
her.
president? Is he out of the
Biden,
running
yeah.
totally? I
he
mean,
say?
I don't hear much from him.
No,
I
I
mean,
he
with
didn't
us
say
though,
yes.
is he someone that we're even considering?
I mean, I wouldn't mind Joe Biden.
Yeah,
Joe
right,
Biden is that
right.
dude, you know, who might get a little scrappy, you know, and I don't mind that. I think I wouldn't mind him being a.
We are so interested to hear what you think on this. You know, remember here at 30 Frames, especially Takeover Tuesday, we value your opinion. We love your opinion, and we love a healthy debate. So please do call in the second half of our hour. You will be able to call in and talk to us and give us your viewpoint.
What do you think about these presidential candidates, especially on the Democratic side, now all of a sudden embracing the Black Lives Matter movement when at first they would champion the phrase all lives matter, and now all of a sudden they're saying Black lives do matter?
Well, maybe they're looking at their voting pool to see where their numbers are coming from. You know, of course.
But do any of us believe that they believe that Black lives matter?
It matters today. I'm saying it matters today for them because they're running for office. It matters when they, you know, you see that those candidates, they also stop by Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network because he, you know, represents a large facet of the community, black community, so they stop by there. So it matters to them because it fits their agenda. But I remember, speaking of Hillary, she came there to him several times. She, you know, gave a powerful speech on Martin Luther King Day, but you haven't seen much of her after that. And so that's the question, like Gillibrand, she came there, you haven't seen much of her after that, meaning not in our community, but doing things that is going to help us, impact us, change certain things. You haven't seen that. So, Black Lives Matter? Yeah, all lives matter. Everyone matters. But it's a matter of choice for them at that particular moment and how it's going to elevate their position to be, you know, whatever it is, whatever their, you know. I think that's just me.
Do you think that? I mean, do you think that people will be swayed by this all of a sudden? Do you think? I hope our black constituency understands that this is sort of for the now and not. I feel like it's very empty, and I hope people are not swayed by that at the polls. I hope they actually listen to other things because I don't believe them all of a sudden.
Yeah, because
Anyone
when you
else?
talk about Black Lives Matter, it's a bigger agenda. It's not just because of the police brutality. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything.
So are they truly embracing all of that?
Right.
Makes
like
you wonder.
Prison reform. Like the Clintons are
Oh,
not
but
about.
didn't Clinton apologize?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they said he apologized. I think recently he apologized to the NAACP about the prison reform and creating that bill. And, you know, he did welfare reform. I mean, a lot of things passed through Clinton.
Yes.
Exactly.
That
And
no one
we're-
talks about.
Yeah, and we're bringing Miss Clinton into the
Right.
fold. So
I
it's
think
kinda
that one round for her is good enough. She ran the White House when her husband was sitting there. But
We
she
need
loved
someone else.
politics. And I believe that it's time for change. Like, for real. Obama opened the door, and the same old, the way that the politicians speak and the promises and all of those things. No, we're in the 21st century. I'm sick and tired of hearing stuff from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. We're not those people. That generation is almost gone. We're the next generation. What are you going to do for us? We need a right now word. What are you going to do for the problems today?
But I
Stay out of, like, don't speak to us like business as usual when all of you guys are still there.
But I-
in office.
But I
Black
also
Lives
nothing
Matter.
But I also think that if we sit down, and wait for them and say things like, "What are you going to do for us?" That makes us a very passive country. That makes us
Yes.
very passive
Yeah.
people, and we actually need to take to the streets. We need to do a lot more stuff.
given
So
a lot
our
of control.
alternative is that we start putting forth those people that we want.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
also be way more vocal.
Yeah.
We have to put pressure on people. We can't just sit back and, oh, you never did anything for us.
Right.
No, and they never will, because you don't open your mouth enough. You don't take to the streets enough. You don't write or protest
call,
or do
change
anything.
laws.
Even vote.
Or vote.
Or vote.
But then if you're going to
Or
vote,
even
like,
run for office, even on all levels.
or run for office.
Hold people
Education,
Education.
the board, tenants association, all of
Block
that.
Yes.
association.
Block
Exactly.
association.
Block association.
Anything that can
Aldermen.
affect policy change on a different level. That's important. Yeah.
Speaking of being passive, there was so much talk, even comments made to our show and our panel, about the families apologizing in South Carolina immediately after the church was shot up. Anyone having any opinions on that?
Oh, yes, I do, because I got those calls at 30 frames a second, and especially on Community Cop. And being a Christian, I'm born-again Christian, saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled.
Praise the Lord.
Saying it all, they're saying it's time to stop praying. It's time to stop thinking, the way you're thinking. It's time to stop singing songs. That's not true. Let's go back to the Bible. When God told Samuel, the prophet, to tell King Saul to kill everybody in that particular country because they were too evil to live. And Saul was disobedient. He saved one because he said his men was hungry, and this particular king of that country had the resources. So Solomon the prophet said, no, God said destroy them all. And he took the sword, he said, you've killed children and made mothers weep. You've made women widows. You are not worthy to life. And he took the sword and stuck it into the man. Now, for these people to say that they're sorry for something like this is ludicrous, because, honey, I have family that go to Methodist churches in Charleston, South Carolina, Pentecostal church. I have family all over South Carolina. And it touched my heart that these people were killed trying to be, a Christian to the fullest. And they're going up there and telling the man that they apologize. No, because you see, it was my family. I would walk in there, however I would slip whatever in, wherever I had, they bring drugs in here, I'd find something to slip in there. And this man needs to be destroyed, or he needs to be tortured for the rest of his life. There is no I'm sorry. He might get saved on the way.
He never said sorry.
No, he never said sorry. The family said sorry.
Oh.
Yes, I would pray to God for strength. I would have a song, send down your power, Lord. And I'd remind myself that I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. And this man would be destroyed because I believe God would be pleased with his destruction.
Well, now here's the thing. I do, well, okay. Can you, first off, wait.
May I say
please, go for
something?
it.
I would just like to say, also being a devout Christian, I feel the exact opposite. I feel that they never said they were sorry, that they say they forgive him.
Right.
And that as Christians, we are to forgive. And for some reason, people think forgiveness is weakness. And forgiveness is not weakness. And the word Christ-like came from being like Christ. And Christ forgives me constantly for my sins. And I truly believe that God is going to take up with him whatever needs to be done, and I am to never sit in judgment. I agree with Ms. Sheila on something, that I am a warrior and that I fight, and God tells us what to do. I do not believe I have the right to take a life, and I do believe to be a Christian they will know me by my love. Everything in the Bible is love, and I am to forgive. And the sooner you forgive, the more Christ-like you are. So on that we differ, and I will stand to the ends of the earth and say that. And I understand we get a lot of comments that it's time for us to stop praying and stop woo-hooing and stop saying whoa, whoa. But see, I don't see myself as passive, because I truly am a child of the living God, and I know who my daddy is.
But see, that apology probably came too quick.
That's what I
Especially when you
do.
think about it in a political perspective, because here it is, they haven't even indicted this man, and they have these family members in here saying, I'm sorry. Usually it's like during sentencing, you did so-and-so to me or whatever. Why are you doing it now?
Because the sooner I forgive you, the closer I am with Christ.
If we do not mix church and state, and we look at it from the political perspective, the church perspective, I mean, the state perspective, the judge allowing this family in here, what is the political motive? What is the objective? What are you doing with regards to swaying the jury by allowing this family to say, okay, we're sorry. So does that mean you get a lesser sentence? Right. Then Obama turns around and says, here's something for you. He gave $29 million to the families. So then, for all the families to split up.
Okay.
So then what is this? And we still have yet to see what this man is going to be convicted with. Does he have life in sentence? Is he going to get the, I mean, and you know.
Are you saying that you don't think the family should have been able to say that in a court?
Yet.
In a court?
At that moment.
In a court?
Yeah, he can do it later.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm going to do it later.
But
I'm going to do it immediately after
that.
you do it,
Right.
but I may not do it in court.
Right.
But anybody putting a mic
you
in
wanna
front
do
of
it.
me, and I'm not saying I would. By no means, way, or shape, or form am I saying if somebody killed my brother or my father, I'd be able to do that. That takes
Right.
a special kind of love
Right.
that I do not have. But I hope to have reached that one day, that the Bible tells me to love my enemy. It says that very clear. It says that God will make my enemy my
But
footstool.
could you just stay away from them instead of just, loving them?
To say you forgive them doesn't mean you love them in
I
a
have
loving.
a hard time forgiving people, especially when they did something.
But and I'm saying
Well,
most people do.
Wars
Most
fought,
people do.
Why was wars fought and people destroyed when they did people wrong? Then I'm sure it's in no matter what type of Bible, NIV, King James, or whatever translation, it said that the people were destroyed that did evil upon God's
And I agree,
people.
and God gonna destroy them or tell the person to do it.
But as you're saying, it's
somebody
not up to
harming
us,
me,
you
somebody
personally.
harming my mother doesn't mean I'm gonna sneak something in the courtroom and kill them. That's not. I just don't. I'm not gonna ever say that I
I
would
know
ever
what
do that.
I am, and I'm human. That's one thing.
Okay.
And I know vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I believe to my heart He would give me the strength.
What?
He would fight my battles for me by giving me. He give you the tools. He made you. But this is just like, we don't agree on it. But,
But
That's
does that
okay.
have to do with everyone's interpretation with the Bible?
Right.
Because, like, I can't preach and put that into that religious perspective.
No, but
Right.
he's not.
Okay.
They're not saying it's right. They are
They're just
not. They're
saying that we're
saying
sorry
for
for
me. I've never heard the word
No, they
sorry.
are
They're
sorry.
not sorry.
They
They're
forgive.
saying
They
I
forgive 'em.
forgive you because you know not what you do.
Okay.
If you study out the Bible, it's good and evil. And true Christians have come to the level of knowing I'm not fighting a man. I'm fighting the evil spirit. I'm fighting the enemy, and the enemy can dwell during you,
Gotcha.
dwell through you. I have had people curse me out, and I look right at them and say, I know it's not even you, because the enemy comes to take my joy, and I got two choices. I can let you take my joy, or I can walk away and say, I'm going to remain a happy person and let it go. Because I don't see it as you doing this. Me cursing you out is not going to help me in any way, shape, or form.
There's a difference in somebody cursing you out or even stealing from you than taking your life.
Well, not taking my life, but taking, of course, I'm not going to be around if they take my life. But I'm saying
Or
that,
anyone's life. There's
no,
a difference.
I know. I'm not saying I could do that. I'm by no means
couldn't
saying that I'm
even
not
be-
human.
Moses couldn't even see the promised land, and he was chosen by God for taking a man's life.
But I think
Moses didn't see the promised land for being disobedient.
and for taking that man's life.
Okay.
But I think it was a strategy. I don't know.
It could
to
have very
allow
well
them
been.
Yeah, so
It
that
could
it
have
can
very
be a
well been.
lesser. So it can be less for the when they come.
That
to
makes
convict
sense.
this
I never
young
considered
man.
that.
And then
I
even
never
the judge, he
considered that.
actually said, well, the families wouldn't never. He was kind of like chastising everyone.
Yeah.
The families wouldn't go through this if it wasn't for the. But your son did this, and this is why it happened. The people didn't react or retaliate or whatever it is. For no reason. This is a response to the action that your son.
What I am
this
happy
man
to say
committed.
is what he did caused just the reverse. There were people who came to that church of all colors and
Yeah,
race
'cause the
and
preacher
loved
was
up on
prominent,
each
yeah.
other. And if he had seen exactly what he meant for the opposite, he caused for the positive. And that's what God saw too, that people would have never met each other that came out there holding and crying and loving each other. So.
Before we move on, can we talk about now is the time, the call for action, and people saying you should stop praying and stop doing all that stuff. I'm not a Christian, but I personally believe that yes, you can still pray and you can still sing songs and hold hands, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a passage in the Bible that says like faith without action?
Yes,
or
absolutely.
Faith without works.
Absolutely.
Faith without works. So you can absolutely pray and sing and whatever, but there has to be some
Absolutely.
movement behind it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we do look passive.
Absolutely.
And those forgivenesses look very passive
Yes.
if you don't do anything to follow it up.
Yes.
I'm
It'll
not saying
continue
she-
to repeat itself. We
Right,
will see
exactly.
Yes.
And here it is. This is, we thought with the Civil Rights Act that we got over this, but we didn't. It's still here.
Well, you can't
Are we
sign a
gonna- we're
piece of
still
paper
being-
and take racism
right,
out of
you
somebody's
cannot,
heart.
Right. So we are still. So racism still exists, and look what's happening with this young man. He hated black folks and came to kill them. So it still exists today. It didn't go anywhere.
What really angered me about that whole situation is the fact that he was calculating. And
So that's
if
murder
you
one.
really look at it, exactly.
Premeditated.
It was premeditated, and they went about business as usual, praying and, having Bible study and whatever. And they even asked him, to join and pray and whatever. And I'm not quite sure if he did pray or whatever, but, then at the end of it, he decides to get up and start firing at everybody. And to me, I don't think that it's an attack on black people. That's me. Because it's an attack on God. There's an agenda. And it's past flesh. Like you said, we're fighting battles, principalities and powers in higher places. So it's concentrated for the people who don't go past the flesh. So they're going to always see race. They're going to see gender. But that spirit will use anybody that allows
That's
it
right.
to use
Another
it.
black person.
And so when he went in there and he did this, he did it, yes, because he already has hate in his heart for this, and then he shot and killed the people. I believe that the people should have said, "We forgive you," when they really forgive him, not a show. I don't believe it came from the heart, because you can't say, I forgive you. What? That's not God. That's not a forgiving heart. You say, you know what? I forgive you because it's okay with me. Sorry, it's okay with me. I'm at peace. So I can look at you and say, I forgive you, because I'm resting in a higher power. I'm resting in God. So I'm not looking for anyone else's approval. I truly forgive you. But when you're standing there, we forgive you, who told you to say that? That's not heartfelt. They don't forgive him. She represents, well, her comment represents a whole lot of people. So there's nothing wrong with what she said, because that is, if someone kills your family, you're going to feel this way. You're going to respond out of your emotions. So I question them with, we forgive you. Because, yeah, why don't you say, I forgive him later on when you can truly
How do you
say
know
it?
when they forgive? How do you know when a person forgives?
Because when you forgive someone, it's nothing. You're at peace.
I can still be sad when I forgive. No, I've been sad and forgiven. In my divorce, I cried when I looked at my husband, and I truly have forgiven him. In there signing the divorce papers, the separation 2 years. But I cried because I cried for that thing that I would have liked to have been. But I truly have forgiven him. I truly have forgiven him.
And
I don't think we can ever judge when somebody is truly. I think it was quick. I'm with you on that. I think it was quick, but I don't know if they have forgiven or not. And I'm very careful when I judge if somebody's legit or not.
But see, that's when we can conclude that if it does not make sense on that level, then it has to be political.
Right.
Because if it does not make any sense and it's a tactic, especially if you're doing it before this man is actually indicted and all of that stuff. So it has to be something, a bigger agenda, because like you said, we don't know, like if their heart has already forgiven. I hold on to stuff like forever.
I used to. I used to. I am so grateful
I think
now.
I do
used
let go,
to.
but
I used to. No, I used to, but it's one of my little grateful prayers in the morning that I've learned to release. Oh, my life is so much better now. And it's letting stuff go.
I can let anything go except for murder, intentional murder. I have not come to that level of letting someone kill someone that I love, take their life. Who do they think they are? I have not come to that level. They've stole from me. I've been my house have been broken into and robbed. People, my pocketbook was snatched at one time. I walked away and I said, okay, they didn't take my life. But to take a life is given by God.
But yet you want to take it.
Because they took my family.
Oh, okay. So if they take yours, then you get to take it. Okay, so you are much better than they are. Yeah, because you're going to take their life, but you better.
But here's the question. When you said you felt that it was attack on God and it's transcend race, I have a hard time believing that, because he entered the place and said what he said, that people are raping our women and you're killing us and taking over. He wasn't talking to Christians. He was talking to black people. And also, you know, we see his manifestos and having the Rhodesian flag, which was a horrible, you know, atrocity of colonization in Rhodesia, like things like that. It's hard for me to think that it was an attack on Christianity with all of that, plus him going specifically into a black church. Now, if he went into like the Potter's house or he went into a mega church, I hear you, because everybody's in there and he's shooting up and he's going after Christians. I have a hard time understanding that. So if you could just explain more about what you mean.
Well, why didn't he go into a black college?
Because he would have got jumped, probably.
No, no, because it's been easier.
Why didn't he go into, like I said, a black school,
Campus
a
police.
restaurant,
How many police are around there? You go into a black restaurant, who knows who else is armed or who else is going to jump you? But you go into a church, and whatever church it is, there's going to be, unfortunately, a whole lot of elderly people. There are going to be other people who are not thinking in that way.
And a room full of Christians.
Retaliate.
Well, yes.
And a room full of Christians.
And who's going to forgive him and say, that's okay.
But people go into mosques and shoot it up, and there's not like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like,
but you know, like I said, it's not what I just said. For me, reading the Word, I know that it's the spiritual world that holds up the earthly world. So like I said, that was an attack on God. We're talking about someone who's not rational. So never mind that it's going to be police here, police there, because there are churches that have police on their force. I go to a mega church and we have a whole lot, we hold graduations for police officers. Okay,
That's a mega church.
So, but the point is, if it wasn't, it's an agenda and it's specific. He's going to a church because that spirit it's an attack on God. And he's saying to everybody else, listen, see how I can walk in here and kill y'all? Where's your God? That's the message.
But, okay. Well, couldn't we say that if the spirit world upholds the earthly world or the human, the human race, couldn't we say that all acts of violence against other humans are an attack against God?
Yeah, it is, because God loves everybody. He created all men.
So then if that's the overarching theory, then we can't say just this is an attack on God. We should say that all things are an attack on God.
That's why I said it wasn't race. It's an attack on God. You coming back to exactly what I just said.
So when Darren Wilson killed Michael Brown in Ferguson, that was also an attack on God?
Yeah, because anytime you take someone's life.
Anytime you take someone's
every
life.
one of us is here on assignment with a purpose. We were all brought to this earth to fulfill a purpose for the generation that we're in. So when you take someone's life, everything about that person, you have now taken on. You're going to be held accountable for the murder.
Wow. Yes, you will.
So you don't have a right to take anyone's life, just like you don't have a right to take your life.
Nope.
You see, because we are finite and God is infinite. We don't know what's around the corner. It may be pressing right this very moment. But when you get around the corner, boom, destiny. So you didn't get there because you took your life here. Who wants your life? The enemy wants your life.
Enemy.
He wants
But you
your
know
life.
something? I respect that, but there's a lot of people that don't see it from that perspective, the spiritual perspective. So when your premises begins with that, the fact that we are spiritual beings and the spiritual is over the earth then, or over the, so then it does make sense. But for those that do not believe that, then we're looking at attack on each other, of humanity, people fighting, shooting, killing everyone. So yeah, but I understand.
Well, let's
Move
go
on.
Yeah, right? While we still friends. 30 frames a second.
So what about
Intense.
don't you feel that the flag of when the Civil War was over, and being that the Civil War was not fought to free slaves, but it was an economic war plus, that in respect to the United States, that those Southern flags had no business being
No,
up.
the Southern
That was a
flags
slap in the
represent
face right
racism
there.
and-
It is. The fact
and
that
I'm
it's
glad
still
they
on the
took it
state
down.
building.
They
That
took it
it's
down.
still
They
there.
did.
And I
They did. They
remember-
voted unanimously to take
Did
that.
they? I know.
Yeah.
First of all, I
They
love
should've-
the woman that climbed up
They
there.
should have left it
You
alone.
just gotta go, girl.
Yes.
Whoever you are, we love you.
yes,
Even though
yes.
they put it back
She said, this
Yes.
goes down today. It should have
That's
stayed
right.
down.
And they got two black workers to put it up again on the same building after she took it down.
Ain't that something?
Wow.
But I remember in the 80s protesting about that flag. That flag, it's always been
It
a
has no
hot
purpose.
button.
All right, let's go to, I can't by no means what I call a lighter note, but let's continue with something that's slightly deep and in the news. The death of Whitney Houston's daughter. Oh. How sad and tragic.
It is.
That after hospice care, that she has now passed on. And just wondering what kind of chance she ever really had with the childhood that she had that was so probably not far left from normal as you can get with parents who are
parents like that.
entertainers and the whole TV show that was just, I remember watching that show. Literally, it was like watching two trains just collide, but I couldn't stop.
I couldn't,
I
right?
wanted
loved
to. I
watch
wanted
them.
to so badly. I just, but
Yeah,
anyway, my
so-
heart goes out to that family, and I'm not really sure if it's proper that Bobby says he wants to sue the fiance.
For the estate.
Well, no, not for the state. He actually thinks that
Was
he
he killed
contributed.
him?
He contributed to whether it be finding her, some suspicion around finding her in the circumstances that he found her in the
But as
bathtub.
a father, he has the right,
Yeah.
if he wants to investigate and find out more, or if he believes that. Because the funny thing is that they're not really telling so much in the news about what's going on, so we really don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised, because he was a nervous wreck when they found her. He was like, blah, blah, he was bumbling. You know, they showed footage of that. So, you know, you never know what he did, what she did, what you just don't know.
Yeah.
But it's so sad, you know, that it's so unfortunate.
But it's also a great lesson, I mean, for everyone to cherish life and your children while you have them.
And say, I love you as much as you
Exactly,
can.
because when they're gone and then you're bumbling and crying, it's sort of like, well, where was that before? Just make sure that you tell everyone in your life that you love them.
I love y'all.
I
love you, Sheila. I love you, Sheila. And before y'all start calling here trying to cause trouble up in here, we love y'all
each other.
too. Okay. We love it when you call. And speaking of that, I understand we have a caller. Caller, welcome to 30 Frames a Second. Question or comment?
I have a comment. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I love your hair, Miss Sierra.
Thank you.
And my friend, Miss Berry, how are you today?
Oh, fine, thank you. Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, all right, I hear you, sister. All you ladies look beautiful today.
Thank you.
My comment is actually for this recent rash of shootings and the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement needs to be more consistent. The Black Lives shouldn't just matter when a policeman shoots an unarmed man or an unarmed woman. Black lives should matter. Now, we had a woman that just lost her son last week, and she was on TV screaming for justice for her son. Where are the Black Lives Matter people marching for her? We have people out here that are hell-bent on self-destruction and don't care who they take with them. We need to stand up not only to the ones that are trying to protect us, but we need to stand up for the ones that are trying to destroy us at the same time. All lives matter all the time, is what I'm trying to say. And we can't pick and choose when a black life should matter, because black lives not only matter all the time. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. I absolutely agree. I mean, at the beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement, it was all males that were killed. And the countless number of women that have been killed, especially by the police force, was staggering. And yet we don't talk about that at all. So, yes, all lives matter at all times. But I think, that's absolutely correct. But I think this is a beginning of a movement. It's beginning it's the beginning of solidarity again for our community, I do believe, and I don't think it's going to stop here. I agree with you, but I think this is starting to bring awareness to all people about what we need to do in terms of loving each other, especially black people. So
I think that while I don't think it should be we all jump on one bandwagon. So you have people that like to march, let them march. We have people that are black journalists,
Right.
get on it.
Get them right.
The people, the black people who
Artists.
have went, exactly, artists,
Paint.
who have gone for law. Where are you? Because we are here and it's all about law. Bottom line, it's about law. So we need to have those brothers and sisters on their grind, changing laws, putting money together and putting people in right position to change laws. We could keep marching down here, or we can put people's education to use up there and change what needs to be changed so it could trickle down. Because you can do all this down here, but if no one's going up there and making the changes, nothing's going to change down here. You know, and I'm also sick and tired of we responding when other people tell us something.
what do you mean?
Being
In other-
reactionary instead of proactionary.
Right. And Every day, something happens to someone of color. All the time. These shootings by police officers with brothers and sisters, it's not once in a blue moon, it's often. And people dying in a jail cell, that's often.
Oh, boy.
Why do we need to wait and hear it when it's on the media? Don't wait for that. Stay proactive. If you really want to see change, stay on it. Don't let your gift fall by the wayside. We all, like I said, we are here for this time, this generation, and we need to be using our gifts. If you are a speaker, then speak about it. If you are that soldier, then be a soldier about it. If you're a lawyer, be a lawyer about it. If you're police, go in there, because there are people who are police who God created them to do that job, to go in there and break down that system, you know?
Yeah. But I do believe that is happening. It's just you're not hearing about it. I do believe that there are so many
I do
people
too.
doing that. Okay.
I do. But it's just like, you know, for those who do rely only on the oppressor to tell you to move on and do this and you know what I'm saying? Like, don't tell me what to do when you're the one who's the problem. You know, oh, everybody's marching.
Wait, what? If you could also avoid being Mexican or Muslim, that would be great too.
But I'm black.
Yeah, it's not gonna work for us.
Sir, please step out of the car as a white person so we can all relax.
I'm not sure how to do that.
He's resisting arrest.
We don't want any trouble.
Yeah, neither do I.
Okay, leave it to Mr. Natwood to find some satire that is hilarious and exactly what we to the point. And Nat, we will get even with you next week when we're in the control room. Remember that, baby. Okay,
so
but
let's
that was
finish the
exactly to
story.
the
What's
point.
going to happen to that man?
Yeah,
Finish
what-
the
what-
story. What do you think?
Oh, dead.
He's dead as a doornail.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's
gone.
He's gone.
I can't
he's
change
gone.
my color.
You can't.
My finger slipped. Pow!
Okay.
He said, but the police officer said, step out of the car as a white man.
So we can all relax.
Yeah. Okay.
That is
That's
so
kind of
crazy.
exactly, I think, what we're going through
Yeah.
right now. Okay. On another note, and something I'm very excited for the ladies to have some input. Healthy. Getting healthy. There are some of us at the table who have taken on that challenge extremely seriously.
Yes. And Sheila lost
Sheila?
10 pounds.
Congratulations.
But I think we got a call before we go. We got to talk about that. I
all
got
right.
a story to tell.
Okay, and we want that story. We need that story. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you are on the air 30 frames a second. Question or comment?
Hi, is the comment?
Please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's a great show to see you ladies, you know, getting together and coming out with some great thoughts and what's going on, and particularly what's happening, as you have just mentioned, to black males particularly, and black people in general, but black males particularly are targeted, and so many of them are killed, you know, by the police or died in jail. And, well, we have a president, a black president. I don't know how much he can do to really alleviate the situation, but this is something that's worth talking about in all shows, not just your shows, to bring awareness of what's going on right now, particularly to black folks. And it's a great show. I appreciate it, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. For the record, I am opening a fashion show the first week of September, the $2 million bikini in Germany. For the record, my app has come out on Android. Thank you. My app, Modelversity. I am the first model of color of my caliber to come out with an app. Naomi, don't be jealous, boo. That's how we roll.
Tell us some stories. Tell us some stories. I'm
Never. No comment. That's what I'm supposed to say, right? No comment.
Right?
No comment. As we are, is there anything coming up for any of my panel that you'd like to just say for
Well,
the
let me
summer?
tell you what's going on right now. They have the I Am Peace Festival, film festival, music film. It's on 140th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. Aisha Sekou, street corner resources. And you ever seen them occupy the streets?
Yes.
So she actually was able to acquire this park that's been sitting lying dormant for like 17 years, and so now they open it up, they painted it, they did a whole, and so we're working with them, the People's Film Festival, working with them, showing films, they're doing music, they're doing poetry, they're doing everything in that park.
What day?
All throughout the week, but on Friday is the film, Friday Films.
Okay, and when does
you
that
know,
begin?
Come out. It already
This
started
week?
last week.
Okay,
Last
and
week
so
was the
Friday is
so
the
we're
films.
back again.
What
Yes.
street is that again?
It's 140th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue.
Excellent.
Yes, Street
Come
Corner
out,
Resources.
come out,
Yeah.
turn up,
Aisha say
turn
could
out.
definitely.
At what time?
So it starts at 7, and then once it gets dark, then they start showing the film. So that's like around 8. And it's,
Okay.
it's really nice. It's nice. We showed The Bully last week. The Bully and great film, and Hoodie.
Okay.
You know, by Sage Love, and then also another film, Manny Petty.
Okay.
Speaking of petties, look at her Manny.
I already saw her manicure. Every time she did this.
Yes.
Yolanda, is there
It's
anything
glass.
going on for you this summer that you'd like us to know about or follow, or any projects you're working on?
Yes, I now have a show here at 2 a.m. on Sundays. Well, Saturday night, Sunday morning. The Yolanda Felder Show, and there I just, speak into people's lives. 2 o'clock in the morning is a crazy time, but you know what? When you're going through something, you need to hear the
You're
right
up
word.
at 2 a.m. You're looking for something, and it's either going to
and
be
you
something
do. You
good or
flip
something
channels,
bad.
right?
Absolutely.
And then someone says something to you, or that commercial, like when I wanted to lose weight for some odd reason, all the food would be in your face, and you're like, oh, let me keep
Wait a
flipping, but let me stop. Oh, wow. So at that hour, that's a good hour.
Wait, again, what date? Saturday night, Sunday morning, too?
Yeah,
Okay,
Sunday morning,
and it's
2
called
a.m.
what?
It's the Yolanda Felder Show.
Yolanda Felder Show. And Sheila?
We're getting ready for Reach Week, which is in September. It's
Oh, that's
approximately the third week in September. And it's a group called New Hope for the World. And we go out with doctors, every type of doctor for every part of the body and the mind that take place at the State Building. And on that Friday night, if I'm not mistaken, Donnie McKirkland, he's not coming in to sing, he's coming in to minister to the people.
Oh, that's supposed to be
And
great.
Wow.
on that Saturday, we'll be out there. Veronica is usually out there, and I'm out there. And we have people taking blood pressure and, all sorts of things, giving out food, packages to help in any way that they can. And on that Sunday, we're having Tremaine Hawkins.
Wow.
So stay tuned within a couple of weeks on 30 Frames a Second and the Gospel Showcase. You'll be hearing more about it, and we're having the ministers that are a part of this coming down soon. So look out for us, 30 Frames a Second. Same channel, same time, a couple of weeks from now.
Giselle, anything going on for you?
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm part of a web series called Anacostia, and it's shot in D.C. And recently, it's in its third season, and recently it got a Daytime Emmy. And it is, like, I guess, one of the first black web series to get a Daytime Emmy. So really exciting. They're starting to shoot season 4. And that's going to come out in the fall. I know it's a little looking ahead, but you should check it out. Anacostia, the series. It's on YouTube, so go and check out the first 3 seasons before the 4th come out.
And rumor has it you might be going back to Africa in a month or two to work on a couple of projects. You don't have to
Yes.
talk about them, but is that true?
Yes, that
All
is
right,
true.
my
I'm going
sister.
to Uganda.
All right, all right. As I say, strictly out of love. Don't come back with nothing you ain't leave with.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. She gonna find an African husband.
Yes,
I already
right,
know what she
right.
thinking. I can't have a prince. You can't have a prince. And again, my app, please go to your Android or iPhone. Look for Lou Sierra. It's also called Modelversity. I'm happy to say I purchased that on GoDaddy, so I own Modelversity, and it was fun to put on Modelversity on the Wikipedia. I'm getting hip with all. Don't laugh at me, Veronica.
I'm
Veronica
proud of you. I'm
smiling
so
at me
impressed.
I couldn't turn on a phone.
No.
I couldn't turn on a phone for. I still can. I just hire people now to do it. So
Yeah,
before
she's
we
leaving me behind now.
before we close up a round out, is there anything you'd like to say to the viewing audience? Because when we come back, it will be fall. Any last summer wishes or words for them, or things we should focus on going into the new year? Things now to start preparing for.
Yes, well, also with the People's Film Festival, look out, just keep the dates in mind next year. We are June 2nd to the 6th, and we will be opening submissions in when we come back, September.
From how short and how long?
A short is anywhere from 40 minutes and under.
Okay.
I mean, you can put in a 5-minute short. Or
Documentary?
And documentaries, everything. Full features. One of the beautiful things about it is that we get stories from all over the world, and the most important thing is that the people keeps this film festival going.
Remember to also prepare for school. Get those kids in school, get them tutors if they need them. Let's get an education, because that is the only way to fight any circumstance that you are not happy with. You have been watching 30 frames a second. We love you. I know we get a little heated, but it's all out of love. Nat will be back next week. Do not miss him. Ladies, you were awesome. Thank you.
Step out of the car, but when you do, don't be black.
Wait, what?
If you could also avoid being Mexican or Muslim, that would be great too.
But I'm black.
Yeah, it's not gonna work for us.
Sir, please step out of the car as a white person so we can all relax.
I'm not sure how to do that. He's resisting arrest.
We don't want any trouble.